Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you to the program. I'm sorry, we will keep a minute or two silence for the one them the lives them where we lost on August 10th in a protest turned violent na we country Sierra Leone. We got a guest today who they can talk about as soon as I can see the topic post August 10th. What's the state of the republic post August 10th? But before I go there, I want to highlight some things then quickly or some housekeeping rules. These are times of heightened tension. We can understand that in which people feel hurt and aggrieved, but it's one nation, one people. So despite sometimes when we disagree, we need voices of reasoning at this critical time now with history and especially so post August 10th, where some people and they call for their pound of flesh. And if that pound of flesh were to be allowed or given by the government, then it not go down well because all you do now sow seeds of discontent, despair, despondency, and the lethargy of this all is the spirit of revenge. It just go down in people and they wait, and other people and they wait for another time. Probably we can find a way through the crisis there for men fences. This is why at this time we call for inflection and reflection, we call for tempered voices, voices of reasoning, not toxic and acid voices, then where they can have for add fuel into the fire, which would be no good because the country, after all, is one country, one people. There is no denial about that. Suffice me to say that when we have the conversation there, regardless of how critical it is, whilst we encourage people for have a dissenting view, which are actively encouraged, but as they say, the way we have this dissenting view should be completely done in a decent and civilized manner. You don't have to insult me. Then we all curse them just because you don't agree with me. You can have a difference with me. You can be critical about me, but you don't necessarily have to insult me. And to those who like for Duam, we say, don't allow yourself for continuously be used by a politician or political entities. Do not, because all of these are passing in time. They get time date, they get timeline. All you need for doing now for better yourself. Yesterday, they talked to me very good friend Sekou John Barry, and he tell me this or by with discussion about people and being used by politicians. We went and buy the top up. They're happy for take the alleged enemy, the perceived enemy of a politician, and use that top up money where they give them for cost the person, for attack the person, not in a constructive way. But how long can that way all 10 and they provide top up for you for coming cost instead of you to use a sense of reasoning if you get half a brain? So upon this conversation and future conversations and the past conversations, of course, sometimes we do have these differences, but we're not going to continue for stop, for call on people them doing housekeeping exercise on a program that will allow active participation in the chat room, pick up a phone and call, participate in the chat room, be critical if you want, express good sentiment if you feel so, say what you will do is good. We can read them comments then and we learn from them comments then so we expect them feedback on what we do because that's how we learn. And at the same thing we implore government for do. When we sit down for be critical about government, not because we don't want government, but we want government for do good and for the people. Government now the people and help for run government. When they get dissenting voices now because they're not happy in the direction where government they go. So when those dissenting voices are allowed for express and dissent, government then understand the state of mind of the people so that then people when they rule because they want to keep them happy and people don't tell them say we're not happy now this, now they go on and we're not happy about this, then it has to be stopped. Now this and this now we want or we expect, then governments can find way for go forward. But when you don't listen to the people and they assume say, people belong to a side, so therefore I'm not going to listen to them. And promises are, or the logic is, you are ruling over an entire breadth of a country made up of all the citizens and foreign nationals that were there within that boundary day, where you are legitimately, legitimately they control. So it is imperative upon government to sometimes listen to the voices of the people. I want to say something again. During this critical security heightened times in the country, we get people that where they compile names or where they make acidic audios and videos it don't come to my attention. We know say people let me do that, but it don't become critical because we know say from intel where we get, government itself is now looking. Remember, and this not a magic, not just simple logic connecting the strands. That if the president come and say, we will dive deep into this and look at people them, we not only organize, we not only mobilize, we not only sponsor this August 10th, but people that we also help for facilitate through them voices or them platform, which implies social media. So if you get people and we opposed to we platform, where instead of being critical at this time, they sit down, they compile we name and they put we name, and not only for let government look into we name, which is something that we welcome. After all, we've been speaking to government for a while. If government not be in the list and government they listen to them people that way they compile names and send them to them, then we welcome that idea. They, in good faith, the government can look into waiting with the talk. That waiting with the talk after all and waiting other people and yes, but it's not a sense at all, it's not tally at all. Because waiting and the try for say is we are anti-government. But it's not only that, and this is what I take offense to, let me be honest. Because then they back, then names then they wait and they send or compile, and let me speak for my own name, my own platform, that these are the platforms that are against government. These are the platforms that are part of the group of people on social media where they incite. And some of them people then they live right here. And I tell them today during this live broadcast that I get half a brain. I've done it before when people then try for smear me, character assassinate me. I don't take nonsense. And if you do something when I feel threatened, like in this case, in a heightened state of security measure, when I get family, I get friends, not the country, because this is where I'm from. This is my roots, capital R. And then you do something where will eventually hurt me, then of course I need for brain come to light that since you there, I go tell people and say, if something was to happen to me, my family, by extension, you are responsible. And we self also don't compile their names and we get them, we go scrutinize them and see waiting and say about we, the intel where we get, if we toxic, if we acid, if we inciting for let people and direct violence towards we, then we will be taking action. We all action the way we take, we need to take the law now we have. We compile evidence and forward onto the lawful authority them. And just like we did in the past, hopefully, they go see reasons for letting them go caution them people there. Although sometimes the damage is done because you don't send person in name down. But yes, we encourage that government have a look. We have a portfolio na YouTube and Facebook. A huge portfolio comprising of almost 500 videos. Most of them critical about government. But what is wrong of us being critical about government? What's supposed to happen is you looking into what are we critical about? Does it amount to inciting? Well, that calling is yours. Today we get with brother where we invite for can help we for understand post January, August 10th, which was on a Wednesday. And this brother, he don't write a lot. He's also critical about government, which is a civic obligation for goodness sake. It's not you might take offense to that because you're not government or you're not supporter of government, and the brother is critical about government. So one leg can help we for understand post-August 10 and what's the state of the republic. Mr. Mohammed Warise, it's been a while, brother, since I last host you. I'm very, very happy for see you. Very happy for get your voice at this critical time because I believe say you're one of the wise brains them in the country. And let me hear what you get for say based on we topic for today, post-August 10, what is the state of the republic? And this is a question to you, Mr. Warise. If you want to say hello to Fambulem and just take them from there, please.
Thank you very much. And I don't follow your programs them, even though you not been the I'm not been to get time for come, but I've been to follow your programs them a lot because I think say we need alternative voices. We need voices we're going to reach the people of Sierra Leone from anywhere, from any part of the world. So UNA provide platform for them voices there. We're able to give Sierra Leoneans them alternative information. I think say once a kudos to UNA and make a on behalf of me and my family send we heartfelt condolence to the family and the friends and the people that we bereaved na Sierra Leone. I want to say sorry to them. They don't die in the cause of defending democracy. They don't die in the cause of we all greater freedom. They don't die in the cause of picking that we get for come after we, because this August 10, now they will get for remember, just like how we always remember August 18, 2000 and I think 1997, where students them, come out and challenge repression, suppression, oppression of military junta. So for me, I think say post August 10, now one way require nothing but leadership, level head leadership for take we to the other side of things. Mr. Kuruma, we all in Sierra Leone aware say we don't begin build peace from the day we will go Bintumani 2. Now Sierra Leone, from the day we go Bintumani 2, we will say we want for ensure say we done with the war, we done with military regime, we take up, what we call democracy, usai the rule of law for be supreme, usai parliament for able for make decision, usai we forget the executive for able for take decision on behalf of the people, usai we forget the judiciary for serve the interest of the people based on the TRC reports, TRC recommendations. We all know say the judiciary contributes a lot to the 11-year old carnage where we all witness in Sierra Leone. Young people we see most of them are street, that day we know say they not witness most of them not witness the 11-year-old war, but I think say they suffer part of them. Most of them may suffer part of them. So, but we were old enough for don't see all of those things. We suffer the brunt of denting and day. We not for sit down idly by for make at this point, because of lack of leadership, because of lack of vision, because of lack of the need or the want for ensure a democratic process, for ensure say we maintain with democracy. We're not for sit down watch the nation being teared apart or being torn apart again because leadership not there. We will get voice, we will get reason, we will get something for contribute. I think say we for contribute. So for me, post August 10, you need one who will get leadership. Leadership will get a vision. Leadership will get problem solving skills. Leadership will get critical thinking abilities. Leadership will get team building spirit. That leadership we now need going forward. I think say I want to be bold enough for say if you listen to the people on the ground, the leaders on the ground, who that me hear that from? Now the aspiring flag bearer for the All People's Congress, when Dr. Samora Kama, while listening to his statement, trust me, I almost cry because this is a man when they don't accused of everything. Now the man at the end of the day, we come back and call for peace, we come back and call for tranquility, we come back not point finger at nobody, rather he said let us build a country. That is a level head, that is a vision you need at this point in time. That is a calmness, that is a quietness you need at this point. That not mean say you're not going to hold people accountable. That not mean say you're not going to investigate. That not mean say you're not going to set up an impartial panel for ensure say we investigate. But for let a leader after a crisis or immediately after a crisis, for let a leader come and talk, begin point fingers, even before investigating, even before giving us evidence, for let point fingers, calling names, it was shameful. It's shameful. That is not the leadership we need at this point. What is Samora Kamara provide for me while listen to, while I read? That's the leadership we need at this time. Even though they don't talk, all can talk, especially from the ruling government. We get all the powers. They don't see everything. But yet, this man calm, so you know, for me, I think say we missed that moment. Usai President Kaba will console the nation after the 11-year World War. We missed that moment. Usai President Nkrumah will console the nation, will talk to the nation after the attack on the SFP office in 2007, 2008. We miss those moments. We miss those moments in leadership. So for me, there's a vacuum of sensible leadership in Sierra Leone. What we don't see so far has not solved the problem. Because the demonstration not quiet doesn't mean the problem has solved. No, it's far from that, because the leadership where now the legal authority in the country, whether the president and the executive, we're not hearing nothing from them where now a problem solving solution or when a problem solving part of the crisis. We're not hearing anything of that sort. Or we investigate. No, if we don't tell this, we don't put together an independent panel of such and such and such group. We don't begin to investigate this crisis. We don't begin to investigate because we won't forget to the root cause of this. So for me, that is absent. Team building. If we don't hear it from the government, say, I don't meet with the opposition leaders. I don't meet with civil society groups. I don't meet with security forces. I don't discuss with them about the way forward. That is team. That is team building. Whether Madabio Lekam or not Lekam, we are all members of that team, what they call Sierra Leone. So for me, he is a team leader. If we don't show that one day, now in speech, if we don't show that one day, post August 10, he did not. He failed. So for me, I think say, must stop so far. Make I really, some questions that will come forward. I'm ready for dive deep into this discussion and take to and make people understand what's in their stake in Sierra Leone.
So dive deep we will, Mr. Warise. From you case where you just don't lay waste. It's like there is little or no faith at all in a process post August 10. Basically, the stand where the president don't take. But one thing where you say where catch me mind is you should have assembled or had a conversation with all of the stakeholders or most of the stakeholders, but this has not been the case. Instead, now about finger pointing, now it begins straight away. So if finger pointing begins straight away in the absence of an investigation in which you don't already accuse the alleged perpetrator, how can you sit down with the perpetrator and have the conversation?
That is the case. That is the issue here. And you not forget, Mr. Nkrumah, when the Minister of Foreign Affairs met with the members of the international community, the British lady and other members of the international body, they make a statement. What in do then caution and profile solution to the ongoing crisis. Say to the foreign minister, who is supposed to be the chief diplomat, but been very, very undiplomatic that day because he been just loud like how me loud so. He been just furious. He was just undiplomatic. Just being just say anything, throw anything way come my head, which was also unprofessional. Because I think if you don't get a piece of paper, get a strategic statement, structured statement, where if you can say to the international community, where they for say, hold on, I think these guys are mature. These guys are not mediocres. These guys understand really what they're about, where they're in governance. But no, this guy comes so unprofessional. This same man we launched the GTT report, we call names. It's same posture I appear with. So for me, what's in the British High Commission proposed now that you have to dialogue, you have to engage, you have to negotiate. What's in do you get for negotiate? Because when I agree, say most of the protests come out from the opposition stronghold. What's wrong with the one day? If you come out from the opposition stronghold, what's wrong with the one day? It means they are critical. It means they want something where they not get. It means that something they were wrong. But I can tell you, and I tell Sierra Leoneans the way they listen to this program, something way me know, and I know say can never happen under Madabio. Madabio can never engage, negotiate, or dialogue because all of these three things no go favor them. From day one, when Madabio come, say today, Madabio has never condemned violence. From when Madabio in our opposition, say to say Madabio's deso, one day Madabio, the president of Sierra Leone, now not ever condemn violence. Because the problem is that I think say Madabio violence na in thing. You know, in believe say most of the thing that way you for achieve in life, you can for use violence for achieve them. With other people them, especially in a democracy, where democracy means I can plus it to una formula. Democracy means civilization because democracy is an agreement who say if go elect, you know, would I get the biggest number, a carry the day. You understand? In a civilized and peaceful manner. So democracy by itself, not civilization. So if this man come through a democratic means, he not believe in that system. It just happens, say by default, it become a president through democratic means. But you know understand or like that kind of system, which is why he will never dialogue with the opposition because there are so many things that has been done in the last 4 years that are uncalled for in a state, in a society. The rape, the removal of 10 members of parliament, the killings na Tumbo, the killings na Makeni, the locking up for no reason, you understand, without trial of opposition leaders, hundreds of opposition leaders. Currently, as we talk, we get Kamarimba in a jail for no reason. We get LJ in a jail for no reason, or for their political beliefs. We get this Colonel way being with the arrest now 57. They're all they locked up for no reason. So Madabio no one for release these people. You know, say where he meets with the opposition, where they sit down for discourse, or he meets with the international community. These are the demands those opposition members are going to put forward. And as far as Madabio concerned, you don't care about the court, you don't care about rule of law. So I make a break and talk about for maintain the rule of law. I can think about who the hell you talking to? What want to talk about? Now Madabio we talk about, we come to the rule of law. You know how many people they incarcerate for nothing, without trial, without going through due process. This man not respect the rule of law. So Madabio cannot negotiate. He would not negotiate. Even though the international communities, including the one where they take for parade with, when are the ECOWAS, don't tell them, say, una conduct an impartial investigation into what happened. Mother will not investigate. It not go allow independent investigation because it not go favor them. It not go favor them. So this is the crisis. This is what we have at hand. And that is the problem going forward. So for me, when I say leadership, I mean leadership will able to bring this country together. Like how will be used for C with Tijan Kaba, like how will be used for C with Ernest Kroma. That kind of leadership, that vacuum, it continues to exist. That make this problem has not been solved. And it not going to be solved until people ready for listen to the other side, regardless what's in the political affiliation, what's in the political belief, which side of the aisle then they. Until that point today, this problem cannot be solved.
Until that point, this problem cannot be solved. Let me play some mind games them a little bit, Mr. Warise. Obviously, you don't say one or few things towards the development of this particular protest, although not in the sense of violence and killings, then will take place in other parts them of the country. But you want to tell Fambul and Lily bit as to waiting lead to their killings then they.
Tombo, for example, young people are dissatisfied. They decide for demonstrate. You see,
dissatisfied about waiting, Mr. Warise.
I'm not going to put me hand exactly on waiting up. I think this has something to do with the local chiefs. I know say something wrong now, but young people then be dissatisfied, then decide for stage a protest. This protest turn violent. Police go there. They're not go with megaphones. They're not go with speakers. They're not go with say, hey, when I calm down, hey, hold on, what's in the happen here? No, rather than go with the instruction for shoot on sight. kill people them. Come to McKinney. McKinney, young people they say, no, this is now a generator waiting our tongue. This generator will not agree for let it go. Such a simple issue. Such a simple issue. Find a way to engage with those people. Say, no, this generator, yeah, government need that now. Make clear the authorities in that community, make that turn, they made them see reason. Say, we need that generator now. No, the young people then say, oh, we not agree for the generator go. This government wait in the middle of the night, then go for go remove the generator. Young people then grab, say, no, the generator need to go. If this government no one confusion, if they no one problem, what's the best thing for let them do? Now for let them pull back. And Fenway, because McKinney big, McKinney gets a lot of other people that win authorities when they can come through for Seduia with a request that write a request. You know the president, write a request, or you know the minister with a request that this generator be transferred to so and so and so location for stories. If they not agree, left the generator. Not kill person because of generator. These young people come out and demonstrate and kill them. So this is not a pattern where Madam in believe say if we address the issues by. But guess what? Now after we in your regime or in your term be done, where you know within a power again. Now he will get for the worry about, that will go for think about, because people and certainly the way we want for ensure accountability. People and certainly they we want for ensure say we will not see this part again now with history in this country. 10 parliamentarians. We all know what's in the law around petition. We come to removing members of parliament that have been elected. We all know. When you know able, when the court don't pass order, say, okay, they might not qualify, not put on that way there. The court don't pass order, say they are not qualified. You need to replace them. Rather, they go conduct another election. But Madabio, because he won majority in the parliament, he removed 10 members of parliament and then replaced them with SLPP members of parliament without going through this. All this now violation of the rule of law.
Yeah, Mr. Warise. Yeah, well, we've heard the stories before, and what about this talk about the deepening economic crisis? You know, like a living crisis in the country, and people being afflicted and affected by this. Do you think that's also part of this tension where they build up in terms of the uprising, not uprising, but protest by the people?
At the come day, Mr. Crowley.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you don't remove 10 members of parliament to them, you don't remove them, the courts don't remove them. What do? They will conduct elections. Rather, you take 10 from your members of parliament and from the SLPP, you place them in a parliament just for they get majority. And then you think say people are not aggrieved? No, people are aggrieved. Because those were elected by people, not in different constituencies than they. You arrest hundreds of opposition members without taking them through proper trial. The retired colonel, now constituency 57, Medke, and others, they're locked up right now. LAJ, just when police can be locked up, you una lie say, or then lie say the man commit burglary. Burglary charge is easy and simple. If you don't charge her, if you don't sentence them by now, or you free them. So all of these guys, the Cameroon-bars, they all day, and people and they will be support them people there. So they aggrieved. Come to the economic situation or the general economic situation, come to the general condition of living. Not to just the fact say the global crisis affect every other country, but yet this government in Sierra Leone not able to do anything for make sure say then cushion the effect of the crisis. If you compare gas price in Guinea to Sierra Leone, now over 40-50% difference. If you compare gas price for between Sierra Leone and Liberia, now over 20%. So even within the sub-region, Sierra Leone not there at par with any country where it comes to gas price. Food, now then thing there, then gas price, then other thing there, then what I mean gas, I mean fuel. Now then thing there, now they culminate where they cause the hike in food prices. Because now then they're responsible for that supply chain we talk about. because the transport we get for go with food na Kenema, we get for go with food na Potloko. If they buy gas, expensive one, that supply chain they will talk about. So not just supply chain from the production side, but even outside they get for make sure say it meet the demands. Outside get for make sure say people them when are the consumers it reach them. Now that's whole supply chain we talk about. So if you're not pushing that effect, if you not do them like how other countries around the sub-region they do them, what thing they happen? People will be aggrieved. When people are aggrieved, you know the president, now your responsibility, now you place for team up and listen. Say, hold on, make a take all the politics aside. Pull all the politics aside. Right now, we are president of Sierra Leone. These are Sierra Leoneans. These are members of the Sierra Leonean team. Make a treat them like I would treat anybody with come on a SLP. Waiting on a crash, waiting on a frustration, waiting on a problem. Come out to them, talk to them, make them serious, make them understand. But if we get global crisis, this president they travel 2-3 times every month with hundreds of thousands of dollars. You think say people are happy? You think say people are stupid? That means crisis not there. That means crisis not there because if you know the sort of travel at all, every travel you go with 15, 16 members of your family, but yet people that live in abject poverty, then you think say people don't talk. That is serious. That is serious. In your trip to London, you know, only take $178,000 for a few days, $178,000 for a few days. You Ministry of Finance organize another $100,000, £100,000, and send them to Una. After Una don't collect per diem, Una don't collect DSA, Una don't collect this, Una don't collect ticket fee, everything. Then you expect the people for Sudan, nobody should be talking. Then you say it's a global crisis. It's global crisis. How you they manage your family for ensure say the family they are power with other Sudanese because there's a global crisis. How you they manage the money? How you they manage the resources for because there is a global crisis? These are issues people are not talking about. The sacking of the auditor in Sierra Leone, one pan the body there when the independent body there was Sierra Leone as a habo say able for all government to check if parliament don't fail, like how they fail so, it's the auditor general. That office, you don't compromise them. Then you expect people to go for talk. People get for talk because it is the right of other people for talk. When they talk, you say, oh, na insurgents. Or when they talk, you say, oh, na coup de army. When they talk, you call them terrorists. So, Mr. Kroma, if I go back to your question, the problem is far from being solved. The problem is far from being solved. And Madabiu not able to solve this problem. I regrettably want to say, Madabiu cannot solve this problem. It mend down. It mend down because it didn't have power for managing power so far, but it cannot solve the problem.
Wow. This sounds, yeah, like like an apocalypse, if I can describe it. And that's quite a raw and charged kind of word, because if the head of state cannot solve the problem, or he still sits there, then that means there's problems, kind of ahead. Earlier on, my brother, say, let we play, some mind games in this one. And now with the protest and the timing of the protest and the political calendar, we all expect democratically held elections in about 9 months' time. Mr. Warise, do you believe, say, the timing of the protest been right, and whether it affect the political calendar or it disadvantage some and advantage others?
The time of the protest, you can protest anytime. It depends how I can always say how the authorities react to that protest day, because protest it means say if I can't register my grievance, that's it. A protest for register grievance.
What we expect, like a muzzling of the protest, because it be obvious that days before the protest, apparently government had the intel that people were planning to protest. We see the video then of hundreds of security, tax-paid security forces, paramilitary. They actually threaten the people. So let me know So the protesters go down, no say if they come out, they will be heavily, outgone and manhandled. So it was set up for some clash and some bloodshed, by the way.
Yeah, it looked like so because government machinery, the communication machinery, I think it failed because it not start just spontaneous. It started with
Yeah,
sit down home,
absolutely.
sit home and go to all the other day. No market, no business. You don't see them. You don't hear all over social media. People they say one for protest, one for come out. So if you let them happen, you for be just continue for let them for happen, and people then go back to their house peacefully. After way maybe you don't talk to them, after way maybe you don't listen to them, or you don't stop them, without using the kind of force we see them use. But no, I think say these guys they may want the protest, they may ready for them because the opposition and also the opposition they in crisis. A lot of things and they we're not right to the opposition. Now we almost can start voter registration. So the electoral calendar, in favor of the government in power, in not favor the opposition. It's skewed towards the opposition because they are not as prepared as the government in power. Because the government in power is being served by the Electoral Commission. Because the Electoral Commission, what's in the government in power, they say, we see say so far, a good part of what they do, now what's in the government in power, they tell them for do. They're not going according to the law. But yet we wait for see how they get for manage the boundary limitation. Wait for see how they get for manage the voter registration because we don't see some lists that come out. We don't see the registration centers yet and how they place them or ensure say people are able for come out and register in the numbers where now a must in a democracy would don't qualify, would not reach the age for register for vote, supposed for able for get access for go to that registration center, go register for vote on election day. So wait for see what it be happen with NEC, how they will manage the registration going forward. I mean, I don't have to comment too much because what I know now that Sierra Leone is a country of laws, even though Mada will not respect the law, but Sierra Leone is a country of laws. The bill or the law way for do boundary limitation, it got for go parliament. When you go parliament, now we see how parliamentarians and they go organize them because the census, whether the latest census data, is just not whole water. That cannot be used. And in fact, the government right now, when they do that census day, they say it is not for politics. If you say that census day is not for politics, now you want to use them for boundary limitation, you see the integrity? You see the integrity problem? You see what make us say this president cannot solve the Sierra Leonean problem? Because you know, go say one thing today, then tomorrow I do another thing. It's just bad. So for me, I wait for see how they will do with that law day, going to parliament and using that data, if they want to use that data for conduct the elections.
It's obvious that they will try for use the data because just like you say, Mr. Warise, even though we were promised like the exercise was not going to be about politics, but it seems like it's about 2023. But the thing here is, go ahead, please.
And then dishonesty. And then dishonesty. And you know the last person, because you know the fountain of honor, you know the last person we want for show dishonesty. But anyway, you don't do things that way far worse than that anyway. So
So this boundary delimitation is obviously look like it will be used until parliamentarians then challenge them because I've done a bit of a background on them and it look like it's illegitimate. It's not the in tandem with the constitution and the entrenched article. I mean, I think believe saying that it gets something for do with 38, but they do something with this on Wednesday, family. On Tuesday or Wednesday, I will check my calendar with Comrade Koita, who will be on this platform either this Tuesday or this Wednesday. So una keep tuned. Mr. Warise, let me put this to you again. The centerpiece of this conversation is on the protest and the aftermath. Okay, we're hearing rumors now the country of people being picked up, by security forces, and people are panicking. In the night, there's a lot of things that's ongoing. I don't know whether you don't hear anything of this kind.
yes, I don't hear about them, and I must tell you, say now one thing where me they pay close attention to, and I want to tell you say and tell you people say now one thing where already um then they investigate. I don't want to call names, I don't want to call any name now, but those summary executions, those extrajudicial killings, those reprisal killings, when a crime against humanity, when you put them before any international criminal court, it's been investigated. I want for let people to understand, say, and I want for use this medium for tell people and say, anybody we not see impossible, we not say they go pick them up on the net, get the name, get the date, keep those details, because people that will go for need them, people that will go for come to you, they will go for come ask you, you go for give them details of them thing there, because these are stuffs that will be investigated. We know say some of them have been killed. We know so some of them have been arrested and kept, in some unidentified locations. But however, the fact that we know say the particular person will be in charge of that, we after Julde don't impose an illegal curfew. Now, the Deputy Minister of Internal Affairs, Lai Lawrence Lima, now take upon himself, go around the city. After we all man not go to the host quietly, go around the city, they pull people them na door, they molest them, they shoot them, they do what they want to do. But that is something I don't want to go too deep into them, because it's been investigated.
Okay, and that is
investigated. It's not like I've been saying to you, while I start this topic, I said, Madam, go want dialogue, go want investigation, go want negotiation, because this particular thing no favor, because say such kind of thing don't happen. Let I give you this wire. During the protest, there was an audio where come out from the SFP circle, where somebody talks, say, no worry, this kind of thing, will ever happen again. In fact, now the police them will not say that the police and they sabotage the demonstration. I say, but what them do so? They not ever do again. We now go see what will happen. Not happening. During the protest or after the protest, we listen to the Deputy Minister of Information, Solomon Jamiru. May God protect him. We listen to an audio where he been reflect on that particular thing, the way that person will discuss now that audio, where Jamiru mentioned, say, oh, well, people them where they claim say the president for come when we're in iron jacket, it will be harsh in a response, in take a different completely different tone or different decision. If not in think say this natural for engage, for dialogue, for do the thing the way necessary, way a civilized society they do, because it don't happen. It's unfortunate it don't happen. But again, Lord go back at the drawing board, Lord go sit down, Lord handle them with cool head. We listen to them two things they are. Kakuruma, these two audios from the same camp, it tell we say the curfew where Jallo, the vice president, where he imposed by 3 o'clock, now for give way to Lima and enforce it. So this is not where they don't pre-plan. So when the evidence get for the camp, these are all stuff where they get for build into the case where anybody get for make for infamble them, where they kill extrajudicially, infamble them, where they arrest extra. So now make matter be even when you don't shout about investigation, you know they do independent investigation. We don't see, investigate the Pademba Road massacre. He blame the opposition. He don't investigate the McKinney massacre. He blame the opposition. So this in your pattern, in your way that one day for do things. Anything we no one take responsibility of now the opposition. But yet he has never, in all of these cases, shown us a single piece of evidence. Ever show we one evidence for say the opposition now they involve that then kind of thing there. The opposition now they plan that kind of thing there. How can you continue to do all of this? So for me, I say again, I put on the shoulders. What do one audio? I put on the shoulders squarely of the international community, because they have the power, they have the wherewithal for force Madabio. Otherwise, we're going to lose our democracy, because a lot of people are not going to agree. Madabio continue for imposing will. A lot of people not going to agree, and Madabio we see and we say they blame the diasporans. We listen to a whole president instead of corroborating with the diasporans, instead of working with the diasporans, rather they blame them because they talk, because they say what they want to say. Like you start for say, and then they come now media for kind of insult. What I mean, raw insult of the president, raw insult of anybody, and not even if the person they below me, but yet I they support anything we get critical voice or favorable voice against the government. Because now you're right, it's your right. These are God-given right for let people to come out and say, we want this, we like this, and this you do and this. But this man no wants critical voice. So this is not a serious problem we get. This is a serious crisis we get. If not being Tijankaba in Kenya we get, if not Aneskoma in Kenya, because I don't see them too in there, if not Kenya they will get, we say, okay, there's a way for solve this problem. But with the person way we all national sabi, including civil society, I don't care which part of the which side of the aisle they, including civil society, they know this man and don't say this thing a lot of times, and not say they get far less hope, say it will be solved under this particular man.
Mohammed, I asked a guest who appeared on the platform quite recently the same question. I will ask you the same question again with a little bit of caveat around them, which is these protests, it takes place now only certain areas in the country, certain areas, and allegedly these areas, not even allegedly, apart from Freetown, where I believe say there's a conglomeration, there's a mixture of people then, but they already don't ascribe to the Eastern na APC. I don't want to believe that, and this is the dangerous trend where they make me scared, because when you begin look at people from a party perspective in the first place, instead of as Sierra Leoneans in the first place, before you water and down to party level, that's dangerous. But Mohammed, the idea that the protests happen na few places na the country and allegedly APC strongholds, does that bother you? Does that you get any interpretation of that? Why not happen at certain places, but it happen at certain places?
Mr. Kroma and everybody will listen. In a democracy, we get divergent views, divergent thinking, divergent way of doing things. However, when they not elect you as the president of a country, it means say you're not the president for anybody, now any part of that country. It means say you're not president for anybody and any part in that country. So it doesn't matter who side these protests come from. They are see Umaru Fana especially, they fan the flame of regionalism. They say, oh, this are just the government, the opposition stronghold. They say many times the opposition stronghold. What is wrong if it is coming from the opposition stronghold? What's wrong if people that are the opposition stronghold decide say will they register with dissatisfaction over certain things that will happen? Nothing wrong with that one day. As the president, because you know the team leader for Team Sierra Leone, now you place for any team member, it don't matter which wing they play, when you get problem, you as a team leader, you come and address them as part of the team and make sure say you get a replacement for that particular player day, now the team. Play away, all man will say, okay, yeah, this is satisfactory. Yeah, this will go doing best. If you're not doing best, the captain or the team manager, they pull them back. But here what we see,
Mohammed, doesn't this show a division? Because what you say, the analogy where you make, it's a brilliant one. But in terms of strike actions, protest actions, once you get that divide, they are called a divide, in which one side is aggrieved, another side appear as if they're not aggrieved. There is not nationwide. There's like one set of people, even though according to you and I agree, you get a right to the grievance. But in this state, you need a collectivity of the people for make a nationwide and more powerful and strong messages sent to the people. But the president now can take consolation from the side that will not come out and say, well, these people are supporting me as opposed to una where they against me. So we begin for look as me and them, or we and them.
I want to take you back to the Southeast. I know that that's what they talk about specifically. There has been several demonstrations at the Southeast over several issues. But already, one day, for when Mother Bill Dana Power say they don't kill one person or they don't wound one person, Now them protest there in the southeast. One area. But however, during the August 10 demonstration, there were demonstrations going on in Bo. We don't see them audio there. Bo, now the major city or the major stronghold of the opposition, SLPP. We saw young people on video chanting and demonstrating in the streets of Bo. The same thing where people now the eastern part of Freetown or the northern part of Sierra Leone been they talk about. We want peace. We want justice. The same chantings were going on. So it not just limits to the northern part of Sierra Leone. It happened all over the country, or it happened at major cities at the country, especially Bo, Makeni, Waterloo, those places. So for me, it doesn't matter which part of the country. For me, these are members of the team. These are part of your people. If you're able to sit down and listen to the grievance. In Liberia, they don't get two big demonstrations. When are the opposition they organize? When are the opposition they come together and organize? They don't get two big demonstrations. What did they happen? The president, George Oponwia, they use the policeman them for serve food and water to the demonstrators. All happen, no carnage not happen, no destruction not take place, nothing up well. Because it's the approach. Because you know, say these are opposition members, these are the people that win our opposition and that the organizer. You know, say these are rights in a democracy, but rather they go out, they give them food. The same policeman and they give them water. You know what I mean? That man will come out for can demonstrate against the government in a week. They say, hold on, I think say this man, maybe in a chance you not get for solve this problem here, where it solves to, but I think say he get it hard. But we're not saying it's a complete opposite. Now, the international community don't call for an impartial and independent investigation. And in fact, when you go to Amnesty International, we understand a lot more about human rights issues. Then go further for say, we for investigate whether force was used appropriately. It means a lot. Because some people come on the street with placard. Now, what if you take, if you don't want them for day at all, there are standard operating procedures, what they call SOP, for engage. There are rules of engagement with certain issues or certain people within the society. People not come out placard, they need to take gun. The way they kill one policeman, then you think say, oh, the civilian life no matter. I must say sorry for all of the lives we lost. We must say condolence to all the people that we bereaved. But however, the same life where the policeman get, that the same life where protesters them, na Tumbo, na Makeni, na all of these places, na the same lives they get. Na the same lives they get. So we're not going to just say, oh, policeman don't kill them. So if you react like you say, the world they come to an end overnight. No, that make Amnesty International go further for say, not just for investigate impartially, but for investigate whether excessive force was used. Maybe you know in this radio, might take you back. What happened in 2007, 2008, when the SLP office was attacked during an Eskroma in time. We, civil society, we galvanize, we organize, and this is what is lacking right now, my brother. And this is what we are talking about when we say state capture, because even civil society we're supposed to act in the stead of government failure. They've been compromised. They've been compromised. What do we do as civil society then 10 and day? Where this attack take place, we form with self. I remember Mr. Festus Mina. I think say they keep well these days. Let God give him good health. He was the head of that particular civil society group. We come together, a huge civil society group. We say we're not for left this, so we go for investigator. We investigate them. We come out with a report. The president then set up a commission of inquiry. He bring him an independent judge. He said, please investigate this attack on the opposition. He bring an independent judge. He said, investigate this attack on the opposition in office at the city. They investigate that issues there. They come out with a report. The report was acted on. That is what people do when you want to solve problem. That is what you do when you want to address an issue. By this time, we for not expect the president for don't come forward for say, we don't appoint so and so and so and so people, we come up from diverse background for let them be part of the team for investigate. In fact, they were when the thief, when they call him name, he go sack the authority. He say they investigate. 30 days. What do you hear about the auditor general? Nothing. So this man, apart from the willingness, you not even get the credibility for able for there for organize them kind of thing there as a leader. It's sad for say, but trust me, that's the truth. And I think say the international community they lost hope in President Marabio, especially after them foreign minister go talk to them that day in a manner we talk to them about a crisis where they go on, and especially after the president's statement to the nation where a crisis supposed to be solved. I think they lost faith in that president. Trust me. From what I see, from all indication, they not get faith to this man able to change this situation.
Mohammed, just before we go on the break, we just gone past the 1 hour mark. On waiting, you just said just now, you believe strongly that the international community don't lost faith in President BOE administration. Correct?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking to Mr. Mohammed Warise. And of course, it help we for understand deeply into waiting lead to the crisis of August 10th and how it play out. They talk about the international community, especially Amnesty International. We go show una outside the border they speak from, and we go deal with the aspect and the rest of this program. In the meantime, I want for admonish with Fambule where they scatter bad news, where they help for insight, where they create a negative impact na social media, as if there is a them and us that we need for stop. At this particular point in time, we need salient voices, we need valuable voices, we need voices of caution, hope, and reason, not voices, of acidity, voices of dissension, voices of division, voices of negativity. We don't need it at this time. It will be like pouring kerosene or fuel into the fire, just to exacerbate the issue instead of to look for a solution. Again, some of them, people them with government officials that they use, where they buy you top up, and then you want to use them for cost other people them. You need for think about yourself. You need for better your life. If you get access to a government official we want to use you as such, tell us say it can do better for you by helping you for better yourself other than give you top up. Not to bag rest money self or just top up because half go left after you don't read insults. What happened after that government official has faded away? We all need to grow up. That are the same way we society will grow up and will become mature, and conversations that we are having will be even more mature, and then we will find solutions them together. Ladies and gentlemen.
Make a come in quick, Mr. Kroma. Quick, just
yeah, sure.
Before we go to the break.
Yeah.
The issue, of course, the issue of personal attacks, whether on television, whether on radio, and I think where people are going to put up a thick skin. It's a tactics.
Absolutely.
It's a tactic that people use for discourage you. You understand?
Yes.
We don't face them. We don't face them many times. Maybe my mama they listen to this program. Where I begin for come to the public. Where I begin for go to the public. Where I actually start civil society work. I'll go to them. I talk to them. I beg them. Say, hey, forgive me in advance. Oh yes, because I know say they never say a lot of things about me, on television and radio. We're not correct.
Absolutely.
He look at me, he's shaking it because remember this man, we now be very very young man, we born. You understand? For me, he see me like still like.
Of course, this man was putting up people.
Yes, but I say, man, forgive me in advance because I'm not saying they go for the met that here at me. Trust me, where you want kind of the public, this is not the way you get for ready for.
Absolutely.
The way you get for prepare for because people then use them as technique for turn you off. But I don't see them. In fact, I don't even respond to them. When they come as text message or when they come, no, it's not my business. I go on and focus on waiting a day for discourse because we cannot decide not to say anything. We cannot.
I can't agree
It's not
I
possible.
can't agree more, my brother, with what you say, and you are absolutely right. Good analogy. And just for add to that, it's not like you suffer from malaria all the time, and all the time you take the same quinine or
Yeah.
whatever. And
Yeah.
then what's happen? The straining you become immune to that medicine the way you take, and
Of
nothing
course.
else happens. It's just embedded in the system. That's what it is. So
Listen.
this is the point. If you cannot provide another level of the conversation or
Yeah.
attack, then
Yeah,
you
of course.
become irrelevant. Thank you so much. And ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen, once again, today on the 14th of August, we will talk to Mr. Mohamed Warise on issues leading to the protest and post-protest. Tune in to the Then and Now TV media. So, Mohamed, let me quickly go to, I believe, the report where you've been talk about, yeah, we get an international clout about and this na the mighty, how you call them, Amnesty International. I wonder whether you see the reports na your screen. Are you, sir?
Um,
No,
not yet. Not yet.
not yet. Let's have a quick look. Okay, it is up there. I don't know why not showing on the screen.
Share.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Does it make any difference there? Okay,
Not yet.
somebody give me thumbs up. So I believe say we audience in the see. I mean, how they see.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Because me get them. Once in the say it's fine.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Give me 1 minute. Let just readjust them because I want them bigger. Okay, that's how I want them on the screen. So that's good. So, Mr. Warise, obviously, just for read quickly from that, the headline from Amnesty International talking about the protest says authorities must ensure robust. I want that we keep an eye on the terminologies used. They are specific, they are international, they are intentional and for good purpose. Must be robust. It must be impartial. And they talk about the investigation where the president on promise. That is into the deadly protest on Wednesday, the 10th of August. And the commitment from the authorities to investigate the deaths and other harms caused during the demonstrations which turned violent is an important step in the right direction. It is essential to ensure the full independence and impartiality of the investigation to determine the circumstances and responsibilities for the loss of lives, including if force was used in accordance with international standards, and to hold accountable all those responsible, including those in command. Mr. Warise, earlier on, you seem for be pessimistic, if I would say. And you even went on to say that this president, you gave us a litany of issues that were not happening in the past, that you have basically no confidence because all of the things that were not happening in the past, including similar protests which became deadly, in which people were killed. Investigations were promised either they were carried out or were not, or when they were carried out, they were tainted and not organized properly, and was, going back to the GTT report, if you were like, which sort of derail a process which people let me find out say promises been there inside. But it turned out for B say it was never independent, just like how other investigations were not independent. And you've said so. Now with Amnesty International, this world body we're responsible for that kind of investigation there and calling out how investigations therefore go out, laced with transparency and accountability. Even though you don't say you not get no hope on the side of the government, with Amnesty, they expressed then strong words there in terms of what happened on August 10th. Does that give you any reason for hope? Is this enforceable somehow? Will there be consequences if you not go the way out in the same?
Thank you very much. It's a big how we call them.
If
It's a big yes. It's a big if. It's a big when. It's a big how. Because based on all the analysis I make about the president, based on in history, take in last 4 years. Not go into for be fair with them. Not go into other part of the history. Take just the last 4 years, we see, say, you're not able for do anything tangible when it come to rape cases of people and we in no favor. When it come to issues and we like killings, you understand? Where things that people away in no favor. When it come to issues and we get for do with the Pademba Road. I mean, so many other issues. We see say even the Pademba, the report we then do was first of all not impartial, because we not see them bring people them outside the prison. This the report we then conduct, the report we then show we, they not tell you say, oh, this body we responsible for prison around Africa or in Sierra Leone, be they part of and never tell you say, because we get organization in Sierra Leone, where they work with prisons, when are independent organizations, where therefore don't bring them on board as part of that investigation day. For me, if the president of Sierra Leone, Marabio, not afraid, not get anything na the cupboard, not get any skeleton where they hide, where he don't presented with this kind of opportunity, where he believes say now the opposition responsible. Hello, he gets a whole own goal for score. Sorry, a whole penalty for take, because if we're able to say Amnesty International, hey, when I don't say this, in fact, we get the evidence already bought. We the allow now with we own authorities them with other civil society then for long can investigate this, so that at least President Bio they go call out the bluff of the opposition where they say they're not mixed by the protest, they not do anything wrong during the protest, they're not mixed by the planning or anything. He go call out the opposition and bluff, but I'm not gonna hope say it will happen, because Marabio no say he involved, because say certain and the way no go favor. A lot of things and we don't go favor government. So you not go want for touch about it, you not go want for talk about this particular investigation, create an independent and an impartial. Because say we take the word way Amnesty use, yeah, whether force was used appropriately. You understand? Say they not use force appropriately. So this man, I mean, we just throw water like me, Mark say, we throw water and a dog's back. We not go nowhere. In for him, we don't make their statement, and that is Marabio's investigation. He believes say all man for putting don't say about the whole issue, hook, line, and sinker. And for me, I think say a get opportunity for open a dialogue with members of the opposition, with members of the the main opposition, with members of other opposition parties in Sierra Leone, with civil society, whether they're honest or dishonest. It's for me, I'm not worried about that. For me, I think say it gets a responsibility for create a team where we build a coalition of people where we come together and say, "Lord, investigate this issue." We get Amnesty International office in Sierra Leone. Let's call them. When I contact authorities for we, when they can help we investigate this thing, because we know say that the opposition that they do. Call out the bluff of the opposition. Use this particular one for call out the bluff of the opposition. But no, you know go down, because say the opposition not get responsibility. Say the opposition not participate in the planning of this demonstration. Say even if they go at the end of the day, they're not going to tell and say the opposition, the people not get right for protest. And one down the believe say the people of Sierra Leone not get right for protest, especially when you come under the opposition stronghold. You not get right for protest, which is nonsense. That not make any sense.
So Mohammed, you know think say again, in the absence of an investigation, you seem for the say, or they make people for believe say either who them plan the protest, or you certain say not to the opposition. And if either case is true, who do you think away from the opposition plan this protest?
We know say this protest not get that kind of face. Even though when they call Adebayo name, when they call, you understand? We know say the protest not get that kind of face where it deserve. But because it come under the opposition stronghold, it speak volume. So if I say, you know what's in, because it come under the opposition stronghold, not mean say I for just say that opposition members. You give for prover, not what you say. Now what you give for proof. Or if you're in a possible way, not want confusion at all, okay, one for older one, they will shoot people them, kill them on site. We want for all the one the way old policeman and kill them on site. You get for ensure say you empanel an independent team where they investigate this impartially. May they look at all sides, may they look at all possibilities. That's not one level. But again, going forward for build reconciliation, for ensure say this problem be solved and be solved once and for all, go and make sure say you open dialogue with the opposition. You release opposition members them where you don't incarcerate for nothing. Free them up. Tell the people them where the people that we kill Napademba, call them and say sorry to them. It's just not late. It's just all of these things. Now things are possible. Who say you get a leader? We not a leader. Who say you get a leader? We magnanimous. We understand what's in a leadership. Because hey, people get for the account. People get for the account. I mean, for me, that part I need to take off them. I need to take that part of them, the accountability side of them. For say, no, we reconcile without accountability. No, we get for the account as equally as we try for reconcile. Because
Mohammed,
if we not get accountable, we will not be accountable. It get for happen again. Other people get for do them again.
Mohammed, back into the amnesty report. I just want to look at the opening paragraph. When policing assemblies, security forces have an obligation to minimize harm and injury, preserve human life, and exercise restraint in the use of force of law, enforcement officials should only use force where there is no other means of achieving their legitimate objectives.
Thank you.
And when the use of force is necessary and proportionate to the situation they face. I mean, this is a scathing attack on the security forces. Isn't that so?
Oh, this report, Mother be no one see him. You know, go out for see him. The report where they publish, where they go with, where they
When we publish and when they talk about it,
thank you very much. May God bless you. The report where they run with, and the report where for me, I see them say it a call on government for do something very good. But for them, where ECOWAS say, government for investigate this unfortunate incident or this violent demonstration, then take and run with them. You go see the government spokesman, they post them on Twitter, then they on social media with them. However, are they doing what ECOWAS is saying? Because me, I'm not going to problem with what ECOWAS say. Because ECOWAS say, make we go on, we will do an independent and impartial investigation into what happened. You understand? So if a government serious, by now, you for an empanel a commission, you for empanel a body, not wait for the rest, because the evidence that they out there, they already did it, they're raw. Not wait for the rest. Go out, but not begin blame diasporans, not begin blame people them when they talk because they're able to talk because they want to talk. No, you know
what, Mohammed, let me ask you this. You know, I get few questions and when they run out of time, really, and I get few questions who I want to let you address. So far, I think a lot of people are hinged on waiting they say, because you're making a case and quite strongly so. If governments don't already accuse the opposition, and then you need for assemble a panel of independent bodies, them which obviously for include the opposition. Which way you think say this get for go? You don't even get fit say it will go that way there because you don't give me a background, a history of previous things them and waiting constitute whatever panel the president set up. You get any thinking in that?
Marabia will never go down that route. He will never go down that route. And this report where Commander Amnesty International will make Marabia jittery. Because I read for you another line.
Yes, we read that line by line.
Amnesty International recalls that
that's where I was going. The second line, yeah.
Yes, the second line, fine. Amnesty International recalls that international human rights law, international human rights law equally protects spontaneous assembly. Spontaneous. So you see, I say, oh, you go for take permit, you go for no.
Exactly. We've been saying this, and they say we're wrong with the insight. We just saying what the law says.
It can be spontaneous. People that can come on the street overnight say we want for come register with dissatisfaction. You for listen, just like cameraman will go on the radio overnight and go talk what you have for talk. Which must
and you don't need permit for going on the radio for go talk.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need thank you. You don't need permit for going on the radio for go talk. But most of the time we don't see Marabio not to just say in the free demonstration, even the ordinary talk when you sit on there, they talk every day through your program. Other the freedom because the afraid say you educate people and say, and you don't wonder one day.
Yeah, Mohammed, continue with that line there because there's something about the 1965 Public Order Act when they asked for, for adjust them. I don't know exactly
Exactly.
what it mean. You might know what it means, so you can touch on them as well, please.
Yeah, so you say, you know what in do now, they tell say Amnesty International understand the context on the ground. They understand what thing they happen. So it present for we as Canadians a perfect opportunity for let's bring about one panel international organization there. Say when I can't help we because the international community don't call for we investigate. So if further say, which must not be dispersed solely for the fact that individuals did not submit a prior notification to the authorities. You don't see this? So therefore, the organization urges the government of Sierra Leone to amend the 1965 Public Order Act to expressly include an exemption from the
prior notification.
Because we're not supposed to obey.
On that line.
We don't ever see. when you see, I've been watch this thing. You remember say, I share them. I think the group where you say I share them because for me it makes so much sense.
Absolutely.
Not to just
thank you so much for that. Yeah.
Yes, let them just call for investigation. Amnesty International give you a picture. Say, I understand what they happen in Sierra Leone. So you government not going to tell me nothing. I know how una can handle demonstration in Sierra Leone. So you're not going to tell me anything. And I think say this is the one way. If the president genuine, I don't challenge him. Me the challenge him. If he genuine, if he believes say the opposition are the responsible for this, follow this. Conduct an impartial and independent investigation. Do one. No, you see, then that's when you call the bluff of the opposition. But no, you don't go do one.
So make I ask you this quickly. Make I ask you this quickly, Mohammed. So in the absence of not the opposition doing it, again, we not say enough spontaneous it develop, but there's a possibility say some people and just got caught up in it because themselves get decent inside them and then just they wait for the spark. Is there any remote possibility? This is what they call conspiracy, but 401 of government itself, you're able for design something we go eventually play that in their favor, but come out bad. Is there any remote possibility about that?
Why don't you know any kind of just like how they do Pademba report? You do the Pademba report and come after you don't rant all the rants about the facts in the opposition or the organizer, you come back and not even make the report public. You understand? Oh, the vice president, let me take charge of the report. Oh, no, that is not an independent and impartial. The vice president not going to call the opposition saying that they're responsible for them. You, the president, say they're responsible for them. Then you go say, may the vice president become part of that. Where Ernest Koroma, I give that case. I give that case for all man for listening. Where Ernest Koroma empanel the commission where investigated the attack on the SFP office, he did it with an independent judge. And other people learn from independence, including civil society. So that is the panel we look forward to. That is the thing we look forward to. But I'm afraid it's just scary that Madabio cannot do it. And for me, the other thing that we make us so regret and get serious lack of faith at the fact say there is what you call state capture, the governor of Sierra Leone, including civil society. I listen to certain civil society where them bring come Al Jazeera, where then give the opportunity, where then give the platform for let tell the world the problem that Sierra Leone, this civil society failed with. It failed with completely. And it is scary because if you don't go to that extent, you say independent people, whether independent organizations, not able to come and tell the world about a clear picture what it happened. Now Sierra Leone, rather you toe government line, it's just scary. I follow that program where Al Jazeera hosts. They host an expert from ECOWAS office now in London, where the civil society person they implicate diasporans because we talk. This man come and
a CSO.
Yes, not just CSO. The CSO, the civil society person, where they implicate people in the diaspora. Say then they set fire. Oh, then inside then they talk. This man, we're not even a Sierra Leonean, but an African. He come to tell the world in Al Jazeera say no. We don't follow that one day. I don't think say it for me. It was disgraceful. For like you a civil society, not able to tell the world say, Madabio don't do a lot of wrong things. Them we culminate, we reach to Usa with this today. Now that make you see spontaneous protests they happen. Rather, you want blame diasporans. I think that was a shame. That for me, I think that is the state capture we talk about, and it's scary. I make us say this is on the head of the international community because if you get a state capture, there's possibility for don't forget about democracy. Because any state capture, democracy don't done.
Okay, Mohammed, many thanks. Famulem, we talk to Mr. Mohammed Warise. We are coming close to the end of this program. We got 2-3 more questions. We will go back into this amnesty report. And I urge everybody, Sierra Leonean, for read this report. And I will ask Mr. Warise 1 or 2 more questions on this report and 1 or 2 more questions on outside of the report. And then hopefully we will close this beautiful program until this Sunday, the 14th. Let me just acknowledge some people in the chat room. Issa Toure, hi, good evening to my side. I'm in the US. I'm Issa, watching from Qatar. APC na all man business. Okay, Issa Toure is APC, and APC na all man business. George Orwell, hi, Mr. Chroma, hi, Mr. Orwell. Mr. Orwell is a regular fan of this platform, and thank you so much, brother. Alaji Momo Sanko, good evening to everyone in this platform. Good evening, Mr. Sanko, and good evening to everyone. Otondo Sise, hello, Mr. Prince, watching from Sweden. Good analysis, and I'm proud of Mr. Prince. Thank you so much, Mr. Otondo Sise. I really appreciate your kind sentiments, sir. Fatmata Bangura, hi. Hi, Sister Fatmata Bangura. Mama Yebu Tigi, good afternoon, TNN TV Media Empire. Greetings to you, Mr. Kruma, watching from Helsinki, Finland. Wow. Hello, Finland. Hello, Helsinki. Mama Yebutigi, how you do? You become a regular fan, and thank you for your kind words. Mama Yebutigi again, a dictator never has time or courage enough to be humble to his people. A dictator is always arrogant. Ani Kumba Musa, this name sounds new. I agree they are extremely violent in their approach to the nation. Mama Yebutigi, a dictator, always live by the gun. We have seen it over and over and again around the world. Peter Dauda, no amount of hardship can justify the cold-blooded killings of police officers in their places of work. Mr. Dauda is always having controversial views, which we welcome. But for once, Mr. Dauda, I want to say I agree with you. No amount of anger should lead to the death in such gruesome ways of police officers. We don't tolerate violence, nor admonish it. So I do agree with your sentiments, I believe, for the first time. George Orwell, David Francis wanted to play fast and lose, but caused damage control to his administration. A man who studied conflict and peace, resulting, we thought would have helped this president to save this country forward. Sad of our nation. I believe the administration is lack of leadership qualities. That is why they are so arrogant and allergic to the truth. Mohammed, I want to let you weigh in on this, because this self-don't baffle me a little bit. Professor Francis being a professor from Bradford Naya and leader na the dean for the conflict and management department, joined the administration of President Bio in the midst of confusion in our country. And then when you get man of that caliber, that level, we understand, peace and conflict studies. And in a case where they move away from, resolving the peace and conflict to averting it from happening in the first place, how come this man did it and so much of this did happen? What's your take?
And interestingly, the position we hold in our one point, the first 3 months with the government, the entire government machinery, have a plan for being level-headed and take level-headed decision.
True.
But I think the hot-headed and first the president says, you understand what they talk about, because listen to this man that day. They talk to the diplomats, people away. They no say when they talk. I don't care who's kind agitation we get. Where they talk,
and we are a donor economy, donor reliant.
Thank you very much. A donor-driven country. You talk to the diplomats them. You tell them, say, may they not believe the people away. They employ their embassies that they say, because all they represent. So this man will show the world, say, then get something in the hide. Not to just a G3, they show the world, say, because they tell the international community, say, not believe nobody except we within our government. We're very, very funny. Where they say now diplomatic circles, they say they can't see the way get something for hide. Now only people they get something for hide, where something they were not right. Now, you see, then they come out and make their statement. To the extent that they say, not even believe them man the way he gets now your embassy, because they represent the opposition. Come on. Whether people are Canada country for go employ, They never talk so they never ask apply now. Yeah.
something wrong, Mohammed.
So,
And I mean, you don't begin to see your own shadow. And when you begin to
yes,
see your own shadow, it's fearful,
yeah, because they get something for hide. So in
Yeah.
that desperation for hide anything a day, it just go disgrace itself to the international community. So a lot of people, the way
Okay.
you watch the video, you dey see diplomats and Sudan, watch the body language. You will know what's in
Oh,
the.
yeah, of course. And this is what I read into a lot. Thank you for
Yeah,
bringing that up. And when
thank
they
you very much.
admonish people, when you watch something like a
Yeah,
speaker, watch their
yes,
body language. You don't know whether they're convenient or they are not convenient.
that's it.
Yeah. It's
Because
good
no,
for
no,
them to watch them.
if you
Yeah.
understand when it comes to communication skills, you get non-verbally people that will communicate to you say we are not happy with what you're saying. But this man continue for the rant, talking the way. So for me, I felt so bad. Talk about diaspora, talk about the opposition, but go to the offices. So what they did, they threaten everywhere where they work at the embassies there, and then families, and then job. You put them in
Exactly,
jail.
Mohammed. Let me just read it in there quickly and try to bring the show to an end. So
Yeah.
Kunku Mutati, Kunku, this guy get find him, but it's today look level. Hello, then and now media Empire team and Patriot Fambulem. Yes, hello Kunku. Kunku went on to say that Lima guy seems very dangerous. Who does he think he is to be killing people recklessly like that, all due to their failed politics? Well, this now as alleged for now, and we get for wait because investigations are ongoing, and I go believe say maybe those are private investigations. But for
Yes.
now, these are all alleged.
Yes.
Yeah. Dauda Black, Lugu Kamara. Hey, Professor Lugu, how are you, sir? Good afternoon. Thanks for tuning in. Kanu Horatio George, what about the traders' tables they destroyed during curfew time? Well, again, this is a little bit conflicting because, in my opinion, then table they need no need for the day because these are hazard and then get shops then they. But in the climate of cost of living where people then get for cut corners and make things for meat and ends for meat, then you can try for reason with them why they put table there. But here is the point. The idea that you can destroy the table there and without making an alternative arrangement for your citizens, I find that difficult, here for swallow. Kanu,
Go
yeah,
on. No, go on.
quickly,
Go on.
you want to say something to that?
No, go on. Go on. Go on. Go on, sir.
Okay. Almami Kamara, you don't need to give credence to such statements, opposition stronghold. The SLPP has because the party is thirsty for blood. In my opinion, President Bio is with the view that Sierra Leoneans are in fear of him. Letting Lima continue killing innocent people is a shame. Well, for now, again, Mr. Kamara, that is as alleged. Thank you so much. Koroma 80 Sheku. Good evening to this media. Koroma, one person who is a citizen of Sierra Leone has the right to protect or demonstrate against the government. The wrong things are happening. Not quite understand that, but thank you for that. Almami Kamara asks, where is it? Almami Kamara, Prince, is your face I am seeing on the screen? Yes, I'm sure it's my face. I don't know where exactly here because I'm hosting the program. Almami Kamara, okay, I think he's gotten over it. Nice. So you love it. Thank you very much. Conte Edward Banka. Thanks so much, Mr. Warise, for your honest and fair analysis of the situation in the country. Almami Kamara, Masala Samba. Oh, na Masala Samba na appear na Al Jazeera. I think that's what this guy is trying to say. The Ghanaian, I followed it too. Okay. Abdul Kanu watching from Switzerland. Hi, Switzerland. Wow. We got somebody following us from there. Saidu Timbo, in a state captured state, we expect faceless protesters. Anyway, Una all thank you so much for the comments, and we appreciate that then and now they grow in numbers. The monthly subscribers, they don't grow from Usa will be they get 510. Now inside a month, will they get 20, 40, even 80? I think this last month, to now as we speak, so it's between 85 and 90. That is good. And we ask Una, kindly spread the news. Ask your friend and family for subscribe to this channel, whether you for or against, and you can have dissenting views with us. We know they say everybody who come to this channel has to be a friend. The channel is equally open to everybody, every Sierra Leonean, BUNGC, C4C, APC, SLPP. Please come to our channel and let's have a conversation around our nation. The invitation is open. No conditions attached. No conditions attached. Today, we get Mohammed Warise. Mohammed, before I go back to the amnesty report, which is just the final end of the report, I want to ask waiting na parliament in role in all of this because there's a strong opposition na parliament. So what is parliament in role in all of this development? What do you expect, especially so of the largest opposition inside parliament? And what are your thoughts generally about the APC opposition inside parliament so far?
Oh wow, that's a big topic. It's a big topic. Trust me, Mr. Chroma, because from what we don't follow, the parliamentarians and the APC, especially the leadership, don't compromise a lot of things. Them way for me, it is sad. It is sad that we dey talk about this because we're not supposed to talk about them. In the way they talk about them because the opposition within a parliament now then get that legitimacy, put on that way, or now then get that immunity for able for say we get for investigate this. In fact, I'd expect say by now the parliament for don't get their own panel within the setup for investigate this issue. The opposition and parliament for call on that one day. So we go for set up we own separate investigation, whether government they investigate or not. We as members of parliament, because they're not levy accusation against we party, we get for come out. So it not just be a press release, because I don't see the press release of the interim committee where they set up for the party, but yet the parliamentarians them where get that kind of legitimacy because they were elected and then they represent people. They're supposed to able to say with the empanel we own committee where they investigate this, where you get all man, we get representation of parliament so that we do 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks investigation. Because what you do, you don't want, I keep saying this, you don't want maybe still repeat itself. Even as we preach for reconciliation, we preach for peace, we preach for open space, for let's see we cite him for talk, or let anybody we get chance for talk, let him for talk. We also say we get accountability. The people that way old people and then shoot them on sight. The people that way old policemen and then kill them without taking them to the law because they don't shoot somebody. Because now in reaction, don't forget, now in reaction to what the police then do, now the people then do so. Even though it's not justified, but yet still, because you know they do tit for tat, but yet still, we need to investigate all of these groups for ensure say one after the other, people then come and answer for the crimes that we then commit. Because we get a lot of videos we can make reference to. And when it comes to the extrajudicial killing, the way the suspects say don't happen in the last 3-4 days, we for ensure say we meet them family then day, we encourage them for come forward. They're not afraid to say, oh, there's going to be reprisal. Then be assured. So when they come forward, they will be protected, even though we get a government in power where they do for carry out any kind reprisal, but yet still they go for be assured. And who are you for one day? Now the independent parliamentarians where they in a parliament, whether na opposition now, whether na ruling party, whether na chiefs, then therefore be part of this panel for investigating then your way. Just like how they may not set up panel, say and investigate fake degrees. So for me, I think say it got a lot to do with all of these things. Hello, are you there?
I am, Mohammed. I mean, they say, thank you so far. I mean, they say the last part of this conversation will bring you down to the report, the amnesty report. And this report so far, it's not being, your kind in me opinion, could be very well wrong, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. And we can see that last part. In fact, the entire, your 2 paragraph or 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraph report. Amnesty International had reports of more than 100 of people arrested. The authorities must ensure that bystanders and those who were protesting peacefully are not arbitrarily arrested simply for having participated in the demonstrations. If the authorities have enough evidence pointing to the use of violence by some individuals during the protest, they must guarantee their rights to due process and fair trial throughout the proceedings, including the right to representation. Again, are they ask people everybody so not to we read this. Una go na Amnesty International then website una try for hook up this report. I think Mohammed on distributor, Mr. Say go help for distributor. And if una want further reports on this, we will provide them. But if fine for level una read them. So these are things that we've been saying. The guarantee of people and human rights. Not so because you say somebody go thief, the person get a due date na court. A man is presumed innocent until proven guilty. That now with legal jurisprudence now we country. So not all because somebody been stand by or even participated in the demonstration, then you just suddenly go all and grip him and butt him and kill him or jail him. It's still needing due day in a court because for now, as he stands, he or she is innocent until proven guilty. So, Mr. Warise, this report seems damning of the government imposition where it don't take so far. Doesn't seem in any way, shape, or kind friendly to waiting the government don't talk so far. Waiting are you view for close this program on this report as against the position we government don't take thus far?
Me position are that the government for call out the bluff of the opposition. Follow this, where Amnesty International don't give we launch an impartial and independent investigation for look into all of these things because these are direct human rights issues. Amnesty International got office in Sierra Leone. Call them, talk to them, say you want for ensure say they be part of what they happen. Just show, say you transparent, Mr. Madabu. At least this time you prove we wrong. Just show we say you can do things them where the whole world will come back and say, oh, I think say it don't do well. Just so you go give me evidence. Just show you go show we say diasporans them they talk when they talk now cause a problem. Just show say you can do things the way people don't expect you to do. At least for once. At least for once. But I'm not sure. Mr. Koma, I'm telling you, I'm not sure say he get for do, but yet still we encourage him for let it come forward and do the kind of thing there. Set up a committee, set up a commission. We get independent judges, we get independent civil society, we get government representatives, we get opposition, we get international civil society organizations. We know about laws. Let them come, let them consider, let them find out, let them investigate this thing, and come with an authentic report to the world. Trust me, I will ever live for respect to you if you do it this time. But trust me, Mr. I don't believe I'm not sure. Thank you.
And then Mohammed, obviously, you don't need for be genius foresee the direction Usai this might be leading to. Do you expect foresee in the days and weeks to come the rounding up of opposition leaders? Because it seemed like this tied to one thing, 2023, the president in being returned to power. Because obviously you are going to use the situation for quieting down people who are opposed to you, people who you feel threatened by. So do you see that this is going to be used for round up opposition people and quiet them down?
If it round up opposition leaders them or opposition people them at the country, you got to do it with evidence. Even though you don't do them right now without evidence, but especially where they go for arrest people them we all man see they get stick in the country. People that way who arrest, then other people don't go sit down. It will just worsen the situation. For me,
Right.
Before they go with anybody, let's bring in the evidence first. Let's show we the evidence. Say this person is involved, this person is involved, and look at the evidence. That time they will listen. But if you know, if you not do that, you go round up people and for that, people don't go sit down. And I think say this time a wake up call. Say you know do anything at Sierra Leone way no advantage anymore. It goes scot free with them because if you call for the people that buy weapons, people that can buy weapons again. If you call for the people that arm themselves with cutlass and any kind of thing, people that can do them again at Sierra Leone. Because we reach a point in our country where we do them against oppression, we do them against what is called. People then decide civilly or say we they go and arm ourselves for defend the community. So for me, I think say that issue of we go all this, we go all that, you know what do them in the midst of always in the international community, no, say don't happen at Sierra Leone. You go just watch in the situation. You got to give people in the room for them to come and take the
You are not advocating for any of that. You just say a situation of that kind might emerge should
if
Yeah.
he do what him they talk about, so for say round up leaders
Okay.
in the opposition just for nothing. You understand?
Okay.
Or just based
Mohammed,
on your own feeling, your own thinking. It's just
Mohammed,
going to
it's
be
9 months. It's 9 months to election. The All People's Congress has got no kind of structure in place
yeah.
leading to elections. 9 months to elections. And then with this, what happened? So certainly there are going to be setbacks. Do you hold any fear? Do you hold any optimism that the opposition party will overcome? Because you seem, while I won't say that you are an opposition, you're a party member, and in fact, I don't know that, but I'm just looking at it from a country point of view. We need an opposition and a viable opposition. And in the midst of the current setup or bigger scheme of things doesn't appear to be going well. So therefore, the opposition needs to be effective. But the opposition seems for in disarray. A 21-man committee structured by a justice who definitely the government has got influence over, and you acknowledge that from the beginning. Say, then state apparatus they are controlled by government. Whether there was a change of government. Do you have any hope that change is coming?
Based on what you don't say, based on analysis and analogy you don't give, now little hope again. I get very little hope because what you do, I not get hope say Marabio Electoral Commission want for organize free and fair elections. That's the one level of harm. Another level of harm, and I get hope say if we go into the elections, Marabio see say not in the advantage, that election will continue and be held. I get a lot of pessimisms because waiting to the kind of person within our authority and the kind way they behave over the years. It give me a lot of make me a lot more pessimistic about the future of the democracy. I will go back and say this: the opposition, especially parliamentarians, then get a lot more for do for ensure say the opposition supporters them, they get confidence in what they do. They get confidence in what they do because there's a lot way them for don't do what they're supposed to do right now, where they're not engaging at all. So for me, if the opposition at parliament being formidable, they may know what's in there about them, they may like faithful to them party. Trust me, I think so. If we don't go a lot,
Whoa, Mr. Warise, that's interesting.
Yes, sir.
That's interesting. If the opposition be faithful to them party, if those are kind of strong descriptions that you use just now. So I mean, you said it, and therefore you mean they are not faithful to their party.
A good number of them. A good number of them from all what you don't see from all the indications, they don't compromise a lot. And I think say it's just wrong. For me, if I represent this house, they will go outside of this house, I plan something different against this house. It means I'm not faithful to this house. I just stay inside this house, but I'm not faithful to this house. Listen to somebody like Alfred Peter Conte, go to BBC, they implicate in your party. This show a serious split.
Yeah.
Without evidence and not to anybody in a party member. Not just that the opposition, the ruling party will wait for let us say, oh, listen to what's in this man.
Exactly.
And even when they know say there's fragmentation within the party, you listen to a parliamentarian, they criticize work with the old government accountable. Lahai Mara, what's in your business for go criticize Africanist press a report against a government where
you for the opposite? They give you red meat. And then
me, these indications don't bring me a lot more doubts for make. I'm afraid, say, how will they go into this election? Who are them people that they represent, actually? Who are they represent?
Absolutely.
The president don't go ahead, don't thief, then catch him, he don't thief, he make fake receipts for cover the thief, then out him again say, oh, this is not fake receipt. He go ahead and sack the authority where they do that independent audit. You cannot raise a finger. You not even raise the voice as opposition at parliament. Say this issue must be investigated and we the investigator. No, you not do them. You let her as if nothing happened. Rather, you they criticize the person where they criticize that government where you oppose. It's sickening. So for me, I say there is little hope. Without hope, I will power. now the people of Sierra Leone, their resolve, then determination for ensure say the democracy stay.
Wow. what a high end to this particular program. You know, of late we've been talking about collusion, even though not to wait in this program be engaged on today, but somehow that's where we ended. And you make the case. Because again, you don't need for build rocket for let you see them. You na opposition and they arm you with documents and material facts for whole another entity which you suppose for be opposed to, but yet you go defend that entity. Shouldn't there be eyebrows raised or questions asked as to your sincerity?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Mr. Warisi,
Oh yes.
lovely end to this beautiful, beautiful program, my brother. You have just made my day. You've just made the day of thousands and thousands of our fans.
You also made me day. You also make me day. Trust me when you give me the opportunity for coming on this platform.
Absolutely. Any day,
Trust me.
brother. I remember saying we'll be getting a program where we'll be need for talk about redenomination, the currency, the new loans. And definitely you will be coming back. We just wait for let this thing, which will last for a few weeks. You know, yeah, the heat is on.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
we will come back to the redenomination. We should not take our eyes off the ball. This campaign has to be sustainable in having a conversation. When I say campaign sustainable, no, not mistaking me word so. We dey talk about providing information to our people. So the choices that our people make is based on informed ones. Yeah, before we twist and just know. Because when they become a master at that. So I thank you so much, my brother, for appearing. And I will see you again shortly, God willing.
Thank you.
And yeah, you're welcome, brother. For those of you we just joined today, una can see that I'm wearing an old one, but this is a then and now. This now we old logo, but we've been getting merchandise there for sale. We've been on the scene for over 5 years, and we are hitting the waves because once they are talking about us, it means that we did do something. But what we intend for do now for make sure say we are with the people, no one else but the people. That's the intention of this media. For those of you who have not subscribed, if you look at the scrolling screen at the bottom, you will see the contacts then there. Then and now.community@gmail.com. You can contact us through there. Yes, Mohammed.
And I want to suggest say them t-shirt then you can make them and print them for sale so that you're not going for the fundraise because this is a program we get for sustain. You know?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. We definitely get for that.
Yes, we go around, you know, say me and know about then and now, you know. So trust me, I want to suggest for do.
Yes, we've been doing merchandise some time ago. That was 3 years ago. And there were interest as well across the pond, USA Udesu. But we'll not be organized and well for get with merchandise to people in because we'll not be know how to do and via post and e-transactions and things like that. Yes, but as we get more and more people of expertise, we go call on the expertise for help with do that. This is not the old logo. This is about 3 years old. I just found out my wardrobe today and decide for use them. But again, this now we merchandise. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a then and now production. And like I say, we will not forget for use the information and we did down day. And people them on the other day be say how we go help families of loved ones who lost their lives on Wednesday protest. I mean, not put the information out there. If you're still interested, let we organize yourself via a WhatsApp group. Somebody we interested can organize the WhatsApp group. No hesitate for put me there because we are all about humanity. And like I say again, it's been a then and now production, media empire. Una not forget again for tune on Tuesday or Wednesday. I mean, I go check my calendar, but una keep una iTunes. We will be having Comrade Creator on the platform, and we get for discuss the constitutional description or interpretation of boundary delimitation, where the government want for employ going into the 2023 elections. That will be interesting, isn't it? Until then, I talk to una again. This is Natianen. Goodbye for now.